Hi everyone! Today I'm creating a practicing video for the Repertoire from Level 2, Allegretto in C major. This can be found on page 4. I'm going to switch views to give you some practicing tips about how to approach this. In class we talked about the important details that are jumping out at us. So all the way down the page, first things to highlight would be your clefs. We're in the key signature of C major, so we have no sharps and no flats to worry about, but we do see some what's called color accidentals on line 3. So color accidentals are sharps, flats, and naturals inside the music that don't belong to the key signature. Another thing that we talked about in class that was new is these trills that we see here. So trills are part of a music component called ornaments. And if you think about the Christmas tree, when you have a Christmas tree, the Christmas tree is like the melody that we are working with. So this is we set up the tree and then we put lights on them and we put decorations. So that's what an ornament is in a musical sense. It's a way to decorate the melody and to make it more interesting. So how we interpret this is we see the letter A right here. If we look down at the bottom of the page, this shows us exactly what to play. Then we don't see a letter A on the next trill, and that's because we are to apply the pattern. The pattern that we see here, we're going to apply it to this melody note here. And then again on the last line, we don't see that written out, so we use this as the guide. And the guide that we're seeing here is that the trill starts on the note above. So instead of starting the trill on the G note, you're actually going to start on the A note. So I'm going to demonstrate that first part for you now. On the second line, I'm going to play line 2, and I'm going to play it without the trill, so just the melody. So think about this as just the tree. T, 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 ta, ta. Pretty boring, nothing added to it, so now we're going to add the trill. How I recommend you practice this is practicing the trills on their own. So the step that I just did is playing just the melody to get familiar with that. That's the most important part. Now I'm going to just practice my trills. So I know that I have a trill on the G, so I'm going to play it slowly. Blueberry, T, T. I'm going to do the same thing now for the trill on the C key. I'm going to start on the key above, which is D. Blueberry, T, T, and so on and so forth. I could do the same thing when I was practicing on that last line, which I'm not going to do right now for the purpose of the demo, but I recommend that you do that when you're practicing. Next, more important things to make a note of. Fingering. There's a lot of changing hand positions all the way throughout, so make sure that you're highlighting all of those fingers to bring attention to your hand position that changes. To mark your score, my right hand begins with finger 1 on G above middle C. My left hand begins with finger 2 on middle C. So that's my opening hand position. How I recommend you use this practicing video is to play it and to first of all clap and say your rhythm names. Clap along with me with the right hand. Clap along with me with the left hand. Work on the tapping exercise on your lap. So get the feeling of when does the right hand play, when does the left hand play. And to play the song with the trills, play the song without the trills, and kind of going back and forth like that. So I'm going to go nice and slow, and here we go. We are in 2/4, so you're going to hear me counting 1, 2, and we'll begin. 1 and 2 and T, 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 ta, ta, T, 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 ta, ta, T, 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 blueberry, T, 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 blueberry, T, T, ta, ta, T, Happy practicing, everyone!